We have a Hall of Fame pitching matchup and a 15-game slate. Let's talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we got a real slate of games this time. That's right. Yesterday was not good. It's two half-unit plays, four-game slate. I probably forced one, but we'll go over the recap in a bit. The Marlins blew a four-run lead, so we went 0-2. The 9-4 run is over, but we'll get it going again with a nice 15-game slate. Just a quick reminder, my best bets on the weekend are posted on the website, justabetoutside.com. Post tab on our YouTube page, on X, and on Discord. I'm going to be at the lake with my family, so I should still be able to get some bets out since they all like to go to bed early. But if not, just want to let you guys know. So before we get into anything, though, you guys got to know any graphics you see in this video are from OUTLIER. It is the best betting research tool on the market today. I use this for every single sport, every single day. Click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. So I got a double whammy for you guys today. I have an MLB fun fact and a dad joke. How about that on a Friday? So here we go. The fun fact is because it's about the two Hall of Fame pitchers throwing today. Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer are going to be facing off today for just the second time in regular season history. The first time, this is crazy, maybe some of you guys already know it, was September 7th, 2008, when the fans thought they were going to go see 44-year-old Randy Johnson faced 42-year-old Greg Maddux. They were both scratched for young guys, Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer. That's crazy. Anyways, that's the fun fact. The dad joke. My dad always said I should marry an Egyptian woman. He said they make great mummies. That was dumb. All right, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, and then we're going to go over the good and bad hitter matchups, the best pitcher strikeout matchups, and then the full 15-game pitcher report. And then, of course, we'll end it with the best bets and the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Helps this channel continue to grow. Appreciate every single one of you that leave a comment, even if it's just a letter. Helps the algorithm, helps our channel grow. If you're new to the channel, though, hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community as we ramp up for NFL season as well. So let's get it rolling. And that means it's recap time. All right, there it is. Unfortunately, that 9-4 run comes to an end, or at least just goes to 9-6 because the Marlins. I made a mistake. Again, I'm super transparent. I'm kicking myself for not taking the Marlins on the first 5-inning money line. I just thought, you know what? They've been finding ways to win. I don't like this Braves bullpen, even though the Marlins bullpen was a little taxed. I went full game, and I paid for it. They blew a 6-2 lead. They tied it 6-6. You know how they got two more runs, the Braves? One on a throwing error where they throw it past the first baseman, the guy scores. Another one because of a wild pitch and a pass ball in the same inning. I mean, they just unraveled. It is what it is. Mariners minus 1.5. Well, they win the game, but not by 2 runs. Offense was kind of stagnant today. Josh Naylor would have came up in some big situations, but he left the game early with an injury. It happened. So 2 half-unit losses. We will move on. The calculations down below, I did not do all of them yesterday. So I updated that yesterday, and then I obviously updated it again for this 0-2 day. But that's what we got for the recap for Thursday. Now let's talk some hitter matchups. All right, here are the good hitter matchups for the day. Starting out with Michael Conforto, 12 for 39 with 4 Jimmy Jacks off Max Scherzer. How about that? Trey Turner, 11 for 26. Ketel Marte, 10 for 26. You keep going down the list. We got some good ones today. Corbin Carroll, 6 for 13 with a couple bombs off of Austin Bomber. I mean, really, that should be his name. He's not very good. But either way, Willie Adames, 6 for 13 off Jake Irvin. And then over there on the right side, you got some 4 for 10s, 4 for 9. Mickey Moniak with a couple bombs off Zach Gallen-Amelk. So on and so on. So that's what we got for the good hitter matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully, again, this helps you get some winners. Now let's check out the bad hitter matchups. I know some of you guys like to bet under runs on these players or parlay them together or whatever it is you do. But we got some big names here. We got Salvador Perez, 3 for 18. Only 2 Ks, though, against Joe Ryan. Ellie De La Cruz down there, 2 for 13 with 4 Ks against Mitch Keller. And then over there on the right side, Yandy Diaz, 2 for 12 against Luis Castillo. You see Schwarber there, 2 for 11 with 4 Ks off Merrill Kelly, so on and so on. Contreras, that's Wilson Contreras for the Cardinals. And then it goes all the way down to Orlando Arcia. So that's what we got for the good and bad hitter matchups. Now let's talk some Ks. All right, there it is. We got 2 good pitcher strikeout matchups. I will say Hunter Brown almost made the cut. He's just kind of been inconsistent and really struggling lately, but he was an option. But here are the 2 best ones. Chase Burns at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh is 10th highest K rate versus righties in the last 3 weeks at 23.6%. Burns, 47 Ks in 28.1 innings. This man is insane. Now, he's given up some hits, some runs, and things like that, but when it comes to Ks, how about 10 strikeouts in 3 straight games? I'm not counting one inning with a rain delay at Motor Speedway. 10 Ks in 3 straight. He's a rookie. That's crazy. Lower K rate on the road, 31.5% compared to 40% at home. Again, these kind of splits, it's like 7 total starts, so small sample size. Slightly higher K rate versus righties, 37.9 to 35.2 against lefties. Now, the second one, it's a man named Tariq Skubal, I think is his name, going up against the Angels. Angels, ninth highest K rate versus lefties in the last 3 weeks, 25%. The man, the myth, the legend, Skubal, 181 Ks in 140.2 innings. Last 5 starts, other than kind of one lower one, I mean, it's been pretty impressive. 10, 7, 11, 5, and 10 strikeouts. When you're a stud like Tariq Skubal and you just dominate everywhere, you win Cy Youngs and things like that, it doesn't really matter if you're home, road, righty, or lefty. You can see it's almost identical for all of them. So no big splits to talk about. He did face the Angels on May 2nd. He had 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. So that's what we got for the 2 pitcher strikeout matchups. Now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here is page 1 of the pitcher report. The first 8 matchups, all the averages are on the bottom. Hopefully this helps you out with your research and saves you some time. But we start out with the rookie Chase Burns against Mitch Keller. Burns, again, coming off that rain delay at Motor Speedway, so his arm is rested. Mitch Keller, been solid this year. But lately, how about 11 earned runs given up in his last 13 innings? He did face Cincy on May 19th, gave up 6 hits and 1 earned run. And then we got Gin and Tonic versus Sugar. Gin struggled last start, giving up 4 earned runs and 5 walks against Arizona. Suganu has given up 3+ earned runs in 8 of his last 9 starts. This guy is not very good. I'm going to be honest. You see his expected ERA 5.63. It's just not pretty. And then Hunter Brown versus Schlittler. Schlittler of the Yankees. Hunter Brown turning it around a bit last 2 starts. 2 earned runs in the last 12 innings with 11 Ks. Now, he's had a rough second half of the year. I'm not going to lie. He was right there in the thick of things, but he's kind of been a little inconsistent. And then the rookie for the Yankees, giving up 2 to 3 earned runs in all 4 starts. He has 11 walks, though, in 19.2 innings, as you see by that 12.5% walk rate right there. And then Kyle Hendricks versus Tariq Skubal. I think there's a pitching advantage here. Hendricks somehow has been average this year. Again, somehow, some way. Only given up 6 hits and 2 earned runs in his last 11 innings, but he also only has 5 Ks in the last 11 innings. Obviously not a guy who misses bats. Maybe the lowest K rate on here, 15.4%. Sugano, you see up there at 15.5%. And then we got Cabrera versus Bryce Elder. Oh, the Marlins. Been solid is what Cabrera has been. He's given up 3 earned runs and 11 hits in his last 17.2 innings. Bryce Elder, he finally had a good start at Cincinnati last time. Do not get confused. This guy is hot garbaggio. He has not been good at all this year. He gives up a lot of hits. He walks guys. It's not pretty. So Tanner Bybee versus Aaron Savali. Bybee is struggling mightily. How about a 6.15 ERA in July? Gave up 8 hits and 4 earned runs in his only August start. So he really needs some good starts to turn this thing around. Savali doing great at limiting hits. How about just 7 hits allowed in his last 17.1 innings with an insane 20 strikeouts? I mean, talk about a guy who's just surprising people right now. He's pitching well. Christopher Sanchez versus Merrill Kelly of the Rangers now, as you guys know, making a second start for Texas. But Sanchez has been absolutely elite. Outside of one bad start at the White Sox, he's given up 1 or less earned run in 7 of his last 8, sorry. Imagine just putting a pitcher out there knowing he's probably going to give up 1 run or less. That's pretty nice. And then Kelly, been solid, giving up 2 or less earned runs now on 5 straight starts. Also given up only 18 hits in his last 30.1 innings. That's over 5 starts. Then we end page 1 with Seth Lugo versus Joe Ryan. Lugo, been steady this season, giving up 2 to 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5. Good ERA, obviously. You see due for some negative regression with that 4.5 expected. And then Joe Ryan, been solid through 7 shutout innings with 2 hits allowed only at Kansas City way back on April 9th. So that's what we got for page 1. Now let's talk page 2. How about this matchup for the weekend? The Mets and the Brewers. Kodai Senga versus Brandon Woodruff. Senga allowed 3+ earned runs in 3 straight starts now. He has gone 5 or less innings in 4 straight. Obviously, he's not having a high pitch count or anything like that. And Woodruff, he's been sharp, allowing 2 or less earned runs in all 5 starts. He's gone exactly 6 innings in 4 or 5. In fact, his last start, he was at 88, so he's getting really close to being fully stretched out. And then Matthew Boyd, the lefty, against McGreevy, the rookie. Boyd, giving up 0 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. Only over was when he gave up 5 earned runs against the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers. McGreevy, he's been giving up a lot of hits. 7+ hits in 4 straight starts now, and 11 earned runs allowed in his last 2 starts. He's shown some flashes, but obviously as a rookie, it's tough to put it all together right away. And then we go out to the desert where Gomber faces Gallon of Milk. Gomber giving up a lot of home runs and runs in general because he puts on a Rockies uniform, and anyone who does that and throws of the base is throwing the baseball is not pretty. Gallon continues to how do you put it? I'd say suck. In his last 4 starts, giving up 29 hits and 20 earned runs in his last 23 innings. That is just not good. And then Ferris Bueller versus Nick Pivetta. Bueller, command has been bad this season. Giving up 8 walks in his last 9 innings now, which is not good at all. But he has given up 2 to 3 earned runs in 4 of his last 5, so somehow limiting some runs. But as you see, almost a 6 ERA, really low K rate, high walk rate, just has not been good this year. Nick Pivetta has been good, coming off a 7-inning, 1-hit, 1 earned run start versus St. Louis last start, and overall just been awesome this year, giving up 1 or less earned run now in 6 of his last 7, similar to Christopher Sanchez. And then Drew Rasmussen versus Luis Castillo. Rasmussen's been on a pitch limit. We've talked about that. No more than 81 pitches now since June 19th. He's solid. He's been solid for about 4 to 5 innings lately in his last few starts. And then Luis Castillo having a solid season, actually. We all thought he was kind of on the decline. You see a 3.22 ERA, kind of an average strikeout guy, but he has a 2.40 ERA and a 2.02 average against at home this year. Pitched really well in Seattle. And then the first ballot Hall of Famer versus the first ballot Hall of Famer. Max Scherzer versus Clayton Kershaw. I know they are nowhere near what they were in their prime, but just cool to see them facing off each other against each other. Scherzer has given up 2 to 4 earned runs in every start this year, but had a nice 6-inning, 5-hit, 1 earned run start in his last start against the Royals, so he broke that streak. But Kershaw coming off a 6-inning shutout Tampa last start, so both these guys coming off one of their better starts of the year. Kershaw has only 3 or less Ks, though, in 5 straight starts in his prime. Obviously, we never said a sentence like that. And then we end it with Irvin versus Tang. That's right. Irvin continues to struggle, giving up 5 earned runs in 2 of his last 3 starts, only 5 Ks in his last 14.2 innings. This man is just not pitching well this year. And then Tang of the Giants struggled in his first start. Again, as you see, all these numbers are inflated. It's 3.1 innings, but he gave up 5 earned runs with 3 walks in those 3.1 innings. He had some good swing and miss stuff, I believe, in the minors, so we'll see if that can translate over, but first start was not very good. So that's what we got for the pitcher report and all the research help. Now it is time for the best bets. All right, for the 5th straight day, we head back out to Atlanta. That's right, where the Braves host the Miami Marlins. Marlins moneyline minus 115, Braves moneyline minus 105 with a total of 8 runs. Yes, I am 3-1 on fading the Braves thanks to a bullpen meltdown yesterday. I'm doing it again, but a little different way. I'm going to take the Marlins first 5 innings money line minus 120 on Bet365. This is a half unit play for me here. So again, first 5 inning money line means you get a push if it is a tie. Probably should have done that on Thursday, honestly, with the bullpen situation. But we've talked about the Braves ad nauseum lately. Yes, they're not very good. They're missing Acuna, missing Riley still. Let's talk the starting pitcher matchup, though. Just like yesterday, it's a huge starting pitching matchup for the Miami Marlins. Edward Scissorhands Cabrera versus Bryce Elder. Cabrera, I mentioned it earlier, he has been solid. 2.89 ERA in June with a 200 average against. 2.43 ERA in July. 2.14 ERA average against. In his only August start, how about 2 hits and 1 earned run given up to the Yankees with 7 strikeouts? He's given up 2 or less earned runs now in 14 of his last 15. So we're talking a bad start for him right now is giving up 2 earned runs. That's kind of his max. Obviously you can give up more runs, but a 2-run max. And if we give up 2, I'm going to feel pretty good still because we're facing Bryce Elder. He finally looked like an okay pitcher for a start last one. I believe it was against Cincinnati. But again, Cincinnati and some of the teams he's faced lately are not good hitting teams. That does not erase what I have seen all season from him. He had an 8.25 ERA in June, 7.91 ERA in July. Huge improvement, obviously. Most guys would get demoted a long time ago, but why has he not? Because the Braves have every starting pitcher from opening day hurt right now. He has given up 17 Jimmy Jacks this year, 3.08 average against righties, 2.66 against lefties. Unlike Cabrera, giving up 2 earned runs for him is a really good start. He has given up 3 or more earned runs now in 7 of his last 10. And he's given up 30 hits in 19.1 July innings. Big starting pitcher advantage for Miami. Offenses, I won't go too deep. I talked about yesterday. Marlins top 5 offense on the road. That's right. They've scored the top 5 most runs in the major leagues this season on the road. They scored 6 again yesterday. That's not the reason they lost. I fully expect for them to get at least 2 or 3 runs off Bryce Elder here, and then Cabrera to get the job done. Braves, a below average offense. They finally broke out a little bit thanks to the rookie Baldwin, who had 5 ribbies all on his own, plus some errors, wild pitches like we talked about by Miami. That also helped. But bullpen's both a bit tired, not messing with them. I just want to deal with the first 5 innings. Again, just a reminder, a tie after 5 innings is a push on this money line one because we're not doing the first 5 inning run line. So give me the fish, first 5 innings money line as my first best bet. All right, here it is. It is back. The alternate team total parlay, minus 102 on DraftKings. This is a 1-unit play for me here. The Orioles team total over 2.5, Cubs team total over 2.5, and the Brew Crew team total over 1.5. So let's talk the Orioles team total over 2.5 first. Great weather here, great hitting conditions in Camden Yards. Orioles have been swinging it better lately. Last 3 weeks versus righties, they're a top 10 team. 10th highest WRC plus, 9th highest slugging, top 10 in ISO power. This team's been solid. And now when you want to face or tail their offense is when they're at home. As you can see by this outlier screenshot. That's right, outlier. Got to use this, guys. Great link below for the 7-day free trial. I use this for all the numbers that I need. But either way, they've scored 3+ runs in 17 of the last 20, averaging 7 runs per game in that span. They're back to being pretty much healthy. Tyler O'Neill may not play. Adley has been back, though. But I love the matchup. They're facing JT Gin and Tonic. He gave up 4 earned runs and 5 walks to Arizona in 4.1 innings in his last start. He's looked okay in a few starts as well. Again, he doesn't have a ton of starts. He was throwing 1-2 innings, bullpen, stuff like that. But why I like this is he struggles versus lefties. He has faced 89 lefties this year, giving up a 316 average and a 605 slugging. In 19 full innings against lefties, when they add it up, he's given up 6 home runs. His K rate also drops from 30.7% to righties to 15.7% to lefties. And some lefties he's going to have to deal with in this Orioles lineup. Jackson Holliday, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, obviously switch hitter, Colton Cowser. I mean, there are some big name hitters that I think can get to him. And then, of course, after Gin is a weak A's bullpen. Give me the Orioles to score 3+ runs here. Now, second one, Cubs team total over 2.5. 92 degrees, 8 to 10 mile an hour winds. Look like they're slightly blowing out, maybe a little sideways. I don't know. It's early, but the offense has not been as dominant as the first half, but still, I don't think they're going to have a problem scoring 3 runs here. They have scored 3+ runs in 9 of their last 10 road games, averaging 5 runs per game. In their last 20 road games versus a righty starter, as you guys know, the Cubs are a much better offense versus righties. Anyways, last 20 road games versus righty, 3+ runs in 17 of those 20, averaging almost 6 runs per game. They are still, last 3 weeks, a top 5 offense versus righties. You love to see it. They're starting to come back. Top 15 offense. They are starting to come back a little bit after a little bit of a slump, but they have swung better on the road. And now they're facing the rookie McGreevy. McGreevy already faced the Cubs this year. How did he do? He gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs in 4.2 innings at home. He's really struggling, though, giving up 4+ earned runs now in 4 of his 7 starts this year. He's also given up 16 hits and 11 earned runs in just his last 10.2 innings. He is also a guy that struggles versus lefty bats. In the 78 batters faced, he's given up a 301 average, 452 slugging, 468 xFIP versus lefties. We know the lefties in this lineup, Kyle Tucker, the Michael Bushes, the PCAs, all those guys. I think they're going to be able to get to him for 3+ runs. Again, they are the road team, so they get 9 guaranteed at bats. And the final one, Brewers team total over 1.5. That's right. That's it. I know, maybe a bit of a risk because they're facing Kodai Senga, but I don't really think so. Brewers offense has been consistent. I thought about going them just over 3.5 as well. I just need 2 runs. That's all I need. Offensively, they've scored 2+ runs in 19 of their last 20 home games, averaging 5.5 runs per game in that span. Overall, in the last 20 games versus a righty starter, how about 2+ runs in 18 of the 20, averaging 5.35 runs per game. Now, overall numbers last 3 weeks versus righties, number 2 WRCA plus, behind only the Toronto Blue Jays. This is a lineup crushing righties. 5th highest slugging, 2nd highest batting average, hitting .297 against righties. Even the lesser names of this lineup are scorching hot. Let's just go over this real quick. Last 7 days, Isaac Collins has the highest average in the majors, hitting .500. Andrew Vaughn, we know he's been crushing it. .400 with a couple bombs in the last 7 days. Joey Ortiz, the guy who's not there for his bat, hitting .375 the last 7 days. Bryce Terang hitting .348 the last 7 days. I mean, it is insane. Even without Jackson Chourio, guys are stepping up. This lineup is deep right now. And they're facing Kodai Senga. Solid pitcher, but he's been struggling. Giving up 4, 3, and 4 earned runs in his last 3 starts. So when I say solid, I mean before the last 3 starts. They were against the Angels and the Giants twice. Those are not good offenses, guys. He is massively struggling with his command. 11 walks in his last 12 innings. And like I said, he hasn't faced good competition in a while. Last 7 opponents, Giants twice, Angels, Royals, Nationals, Rockies twice. That is horrendous right there. Now they have to face a top 3 lineup or he has to face a top 3 lineup in the majors. Also does not go deep into games. Like I said earlier, 5 or less innings now in 4 straight starts. All we need is a walk and a blast. That's it. And it can be off him. It can be off the bullpen, whatever we want to do. It just need 2 runs there. So give me the Orioles team total over 2.5, Cubs team total over 2.5, and the Brew Crew team total over 1.5 as my second best bet. All right, before we get to my third and final bet today, we have not done a Kalshi trade of the day in a while. If you guys have no idea what Kalshi is, you are missing out. This is federally regulated in all 50 states. It's like stocks, honestly, buying, selling contracts, but it's on all world events that interest you. I mean, there is a ton up there. Politics, economics, weather, sports, whatever you want, you can bet on it. That's right. So we're just going to go over our trade of the day. And by the way, if you click the link below to sign up, the Kalshi link is in the description. You get a $20 bonus credit. But we're going to do a trade of the day. Of course, we are going to head to sports. That's right. And then we're going to click there. And then what pulls up, you can see all the different sports. We're going to go to baseball because if you don't know, this is a baseball video. But then we're going to go to futures. And you can see Seattle and Houston. Once you click futures, you can see Seattle and Houston for the AL West title. There it is. I think you have an idea where I'm going, baby. That's right. What are we doing? 44 cents a contract. As you can see, it shows it's a 31% chance. It makes no sense to me. Why? Because they have the best roster in the American League. Now, will they put it together? We'll find out. But they're a game and a half back. This is being priced as if they're having to come back 4 or 5 games. So I'm going to click on the 44 cents for Seattle, and then we're going to make a little wager right here for $7 and hopefully get a winner here. So again, this is just one of our trades. You hit review and submit, and it's in the books. That's right. And again, there's so many other topics around the world you can bet on, so be sure to click that link below. But that is our Kalshi trade of the day. Now let's get to the final bet. All right, we head out to the land of the tiny beverages in the Minnesota Twinkies hosting the Kansas City Royals. Twins moneyline -145, Royals moneyline +120 with a total of 8.5 runs. Underdog play of the day. What are we doing with this line? Give me the Royals on the moneyline +120 on ESPN bet. Half unit play for me here. Let's talk the Twins first. They traded away all their big bullpen arms. You guys know that. They traded away key hitters. Byron Buxton on the IL, still hurt. Yes, they scored runs in Detroit this weekend. Congratulations. I still believe they're going to be coming crashing down to earth. Nothing about this lineup really scares me. So let's talk the starting pitcher matchup. Seth Lugo versus Joe Ryan. Honestly, it's pretty close to a wash here. Joe Ryan, Twins are 5-5 in his 10 home starts this year, so it's not like they dominate when he's on the mound, and obviously a worse team around him now. He's given up 10 earned runs in his last 5 starts, so he isn't unhittable. Again, he's pitching well. He's not getting blasted or anything, but he did pitch well versus the Royals last start. I'm hoping they make some adjustments here, but Seth Lugo also been solid. Unlike Ryan, who's faced very bad offense. If you look at some of the game logs of Joe Ryan, it has not been good competition. Now, Seth Lugo, 2 of his last 3 starts, Blue Jays and Cubs. 2 very tough offenses. In total, in those 2 starts, he gave up 4 total earned runs. He's been super consistent. I expect a quality start here. 6 innings from him, giving up maybe 2 runs, maybe 1 or 2 runs, but no big lefties in this Minnesota lineup that I worry about against Seth Lugo. And then bullpens, Royals have a much better bullpen, especially after all the trades. As you guys know, Minnesota traded away all their late inning guys. So Royals can, or the offenses, Royals can be hit or miss. I know that, but on the road, they have been better this year, like we've talked about. And the Twins, a lot of young players. Maybe they're going to continue this for a little bit longer, but I just really don't see much power or much anything in their lineup, to be honest with you. Again, they did hit well in Detroit. Now they come back home after a day off. We'll see if they can do it again, but I really don't think they will. So overall, Royals are the better team with the better bullpen. Even if we get a 2-2 game heading to the 7th, I feel pretty dang good about it with these Twins arms in the bullpen. Give me the Royals at this nice +120 price on the money line. That is my third and final best bet. I am going to be looking at some pitcher props, hitter props. So be sure to check the pinned comment below because I will have some, at least 1, maybe 2 added plays for this slate as well. But that's what I got. Thank you guys for listening. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 3 best bets so far. Give me the Marlins first 5 innings money line -120 on Bet365 for a half unit. Alternate team total parlay -102 for a unit. The Orioles over 2.5, Cubs over 2.5, and the Brewers over 1.5. And then Royals money line +120, the underdog play of the day for a half unit. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it, especially all the nice comments you guys leave below. It's always fun to read those. But hope you guys have a great Friday and weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.